What is up, guys? It's Sky. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Today's video is something that you don't really see a lot of on my channel, and it's a couple games of Walker Assault I jumped on this weekend and I ended up getting 120 combined kills. And the irony is that I'm starting the video off with a clip of me getting in on the objective, which I didn't do very much of in these couple games. And if you notice in the video, I'm running the Flavor of the Month setup: Berserker, Back to Bomb, Adrenaline Stim, and Jetpack. Cause I figured, I'll give it a shot. Because the DLC's coming up soon, and DICE is gonna nerf this setup in the Oblivion. In this first game of Indoor Walker Assault, ended up going 50-7, but in the second game you'll see later on in the video, I ended up going 70-6. And the reason that I said earlier that you don't see too many of these videos on my channel is that this is not really my style. I pretty much never run Adrenaline Stim. I prefer Personal Shield, because if you want to be a hardcore objective player, I feel like Personal Shield is pretty necessary. The advantage of Adrenaline Stim is that it's a defensive perk like Personal Shield, but you can still shoot while you have it up. So basically, if your style of gameplay is a kill whoring style, then it's pretty much the perfect card for you. But the disadvantage is that you still can't tank that much damage. It's not going to let you arm and uplink while you got a couple people shooting at you. And that's the thing. In a really competitive game, and a really competitive objective game mode, you're going to need that shield to stay up around the objective. And another thing I'm doing in the video that normally I don't do is I'm running the A280C. And a lot of you guys probably already know, I prefer the E11, because the E11 fares a little bit better in close quarters. But in this gameplay, I'm trying to keep people at an arm's length. And I can do that because I'm not really that close to the objective. I'm kind of off this side, and I know most people's focus is going to be on that objective. So if I come at them from the side or from behind, they're not even going to know I'm there. As I cut to the end of the round score tally, in case I didn't already make it clear that I got 50 kills and somehow ended up with most uplinks defended, even though I wasn't really playing the objective. As I cut to a game of Walker Assault on Outpost Beta where I ended up going 70-6. And again, the irony is that I start off with a clip of me turning an uplink on, and I can already feel people clicking off of the video, so I'll cut to the fun part. And I already said that this really isn't my style, and it's not to discredit this style of play either. And holy crap, is that a lot of stormtroopers in one place, as a well-placed thermal detonator has me heading for the hills. But like a good kill whore, I get right back at it. But like I was saying, it's not to discredit this style of play. It still takes good map awareness, a solid knowledge of the game mechanics, and some half-decent aim to be able to produce gameplay like this. And it is pretty entertaining to watch. But the issue I have with gameplay like this is that you're treating Walker Assault in objective game mode like Blast. And the problem with valuing gameplay like this is that we're producing a generation of gamers that don't play the objective and just want to pad their kill-death ratio. I guarantee that if kill-death ratio wasn't a thing, you'd see a lot less people sitting up in the hills with their pulse cannons, and a lot more people just getting down and dirty down there in the objectives. But the difference between a good player playing the objective and a good player ignoring the objective is a fine line. And I know there's some good players that watch this channel, and I don't want to offend anyone. I just know that if I post this video, someone's going to come back at me and say that I'm not playing the objective, and you're not wrong. And I'll admit it right off the bat, when I jumped on this session, I wasn't trying to play the objective. My intention was to run the Flavor of the Month setup and get as many kills as I could. I basically turned Walker Assault into 20v20 team deathmatch, and even though it's not normally my style of play, I still had a ton of fun, and my KD actually went up a couple points. And I figured, I'd take this opportunity to turn it around and give you some tips on how to play this way if that's what you really want to do. And really, if you're already a pretty decent player, then it's really just a matter of loadout and mentality. Just run Berserker, Adrenaline Stim, and Back to Bomb, and you're pretty much already halfway there. And this is pretty much the money setup until DICE inevitably nerfs it. And then from there, it's just pretty much treating it like team deathmatch. Keep an eye on where your teammates are on the minimap, and that'll help you figure out what kind of map control your team has. Push to the front lines and stay off to the side. That'll prevent people from sneaking up behind you, and try to get an elevated position. And the real key, and I say this with no sarcasm, is that you have to kind of ignore the objective. You're really more concerned about what kind of map control your team has. So if your team's pushed past the objective, then you push past the objective. If your team is pushed off of the objective, then you have to get off the objective. And that's really one of the marks of a good player. Whether you're intentionally PTFOing or ignoring the objective, having an awareness of your team's map control is key. And honestly, in this particular game of Walker Assault, I thought we were going to win in the second phase because they were down to one AT-AT that had like 50% health. And actually, I wasn't doing that good. I think I was like 10 and 4 throughout the whole second phase. But then I get this lucky hero pickup in the third phase. And of course, I'm going to pick 9 Numb. And of course, no one's going to take my turret out the entire game. I put the turret right next to the spawn, and I think I ended up getting like 15 kills with just my turret alone. And you would think I was playing against a bunch of potatoes, but actually the top 5 players on the other team actually had some pretty good scores. You'd think they'd be able to take out my turret, but I guess I shouldn't complain. And like I said before, my typical game of Walker Assault playing on the ground doesn't really look like this. I'll usually end up with like maybe 30, 35 kills, and I'll run personal shield and cycler rifle, and I pretty much treat Walker Assault like extraction in that I go for a lot of defense. And uplink defense is if you're standing on an uplink that your team controls and you kill someone, and that person you kill doesn't necessarily have to be near the uplink. You can kill someone across the map while you're standing on an uplink, and it counts as an uplink defense. One of the biggest differences with the bigger objective game modes when compared to extraction is that once you die, you have to walk back to the objective, and that takes a while. So inversely, if you're staying up on the objective, getting a lot of defense, you're actually going to not get that much traffic. Even if you're really good, you'll get like 30, 35 kills. And I know this video turned into kind of a PSA about playing the objective, but it's not to say that I didn't have a ton of fun recording this gameplay. And at the end of the day, it's about going for the win. And if you know your team's going to win, why not have a killwhore loadout on hand so you can have some fun and pad your kill death ratio? But if you see your team losing, then I hope you would get in there, forget about your KD and PTFO, because there's nothing worse than going 70-0 and your team losing. Well guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the epic gameplay. Catch you later.